So Will Hoyt's law is really more of like a meme than a law, but I think there's a lot of truth to it. It says conservatism consists of exactly one proposition, to wit, there must be in-groups whom the law protects but does not bind, alongside out-groups whom the law binds but does not protect. So you can imagine the law binding someone like maybe an Alex Peretti, but then it protects whoever executed Alex Peretti. It says, oh, Alex Peretti just shouldn't have been where he was at that time. The law is binding him, and the law, however, is also protecting whoever it was that executed him. I forget his name off the top of my head, but you can also go back further into history. It's okay to be a woman. You can just not vote, and you can't have a credit card. It's okay to even be black, but don't you think about dare going to use the wrong water fountain, or don't you dare think about actually dating our white women. It's okay to be gay, but don't you dare think about getting married or having a family of your own. And now each of these stipulations is usually presented in like a really rational way. You know, it's just a totally normal line in the sand that any reasonable person would actually agree with. But that line in the sand is also really functioning to just bind the out group in some way and further reinforce the position of the in groups within their social hierarchy. Now enter trans panic, right? Where it's okay to be trans, but don't you dare think about playing in women's sports, I guess. Now, of course, you can argue that that is a totally rational stipulation, that there's nothing wrong with that any reasonable person would agree with it. But besides the fact that it, like Will Hoyt's law, is really more of a meme than something in reality, it also serves, as history has shown us, to function as a binding of an outgroup and a way of comforting the in-group against all those scary others that they really just don't understand. So let's watch this doofus right now on Laura Ingraham. So I guess I should say doofus is, and he's apparently figured out how to be the latest right-wing grifter, and he's understanding now that if you tap into trans panic, it can earn you a lot of social capital. And then after that, we're going to watch a little bit of a lecture from a Stanford professor on the neuroscience of transgenderism, because why not?
Are you a trans woman?
Well, I want to make this very clear.
Are you a trans woman?
Listen, Section 13, right? Article 13, Section 1 says if you identify as a woman, then you're allowed to play.
So you are identifying as a woman tonight?
I identify as a woman. Sure, yes.
Okay.
So I can play.
But they're never
You seem more like a dick, but
going to let you play.
Why not? I mean, that's the rule. That's the rule that they put, and I'm just following the rules. If they ever come out and say, okay, we are changing the rules, I respect their decision. I will, follow the rules. But right now, if you identify as a woman, you're allowed to play. And I am identifying as a woman, and I should be allowed to play.
so you see the truth in Will Hoyt's law of the immediate. I mean, that's the rule. That's, and if it's all very rational. Now you can see the trolling behind his eyes and the kind of like smirk that he's barely able to conceal, which is, of course, the tell, right? Like, there's no rationality here. This is not a good faith argument. This guy is just trying to make money.
You said Sophie Cunningham is a friend. Have you talked to her about what happened last night?
I texted her after the game. I was like, listen, just please focus on your game because you are a national treasure, and she is an American hero, and she should be protected at all costs, because she's not only inspiring the young girls in America, but all over the world. So she is an idol. She's a hero. So I was like, just focus on your game. Let all the outside talk don't distract you from outside talk.
Given
This like over the top saccharine, like I'm the protective male. Give me a break. Like, he's trying so hard to be the manly hero here to mask what he's really doing, which is being a troll.
the anger of Ms. Cloud, who I'll repeat, she's fabulous to watch on the court. It's a lot of fun.
Of course.
Incredible talent.
Yes.
But given what you've seen, are you in any way, as a former player, are you concerned about the safety
Look at the difference in shots that they're using of Cloud.
of Sophie Cunningham on court?
Oh, 100%. I mean, before this game, I was watching many Indiana Fever's game, and I mean, they're targeting her. I even texted her after one of the games. I was like, just please be careful.
Well, how can you be careful if you get elbowed in the face?
Slight Freudian slip there, but I'm going to bet $1 million that's not all that he's texting.
Exactly.
Fell back and
Right.
hit your head
Someone check this man's phone.
on the wood. That's pretty bad.
It is pretty bad, but I think, you know what, she's a strong woman. She's an independent woman. I think she's going to handle this perfectly.
Yeah. How many points do you think you score in your first WNBA game against the #1 team? How many?
You know what? I mean, I think I'm going to try to beat Will Chamberlain's record. I might go something like over 100 points for sure.
And
how many points do you think you're going to get in this thing that's never going to happen, that's completely rooted in a problem that doesn't happen? It's orders of magnitude of fantasy, so much so that it's hard to keep track.
Any fouls? Would you be called for any fouls in that game?
I mean, I think they're definitely gonna try to, pick on me. But you know what? I'm just gonna go out there and have fun. I'm ready to play, and I'm prepared to play.
Have you heard about a potential ban of you ever?
He's so proud of himself. Look at him. He's like a little boy who's figured out, like, he's got an upper hand in, like, Monopoly, not that you have hands.
For attending another WNBA game?
I have not heard it. I mean, if there is any news out there, please don't listen to those sources because it's all fake news. I did not break any kind of rules. I did not step over the baseline. I literally simply got out and just opened my arms. So they should not be banning me from any games. And you know what? I am so excited for the playoffs. I cannot wait to go to every playoff game that Indiana Fever's play. So it's going to be fun because I'm a fan of the game. So
do you have tickets?
I don't get those tickets under my name because I don't know if they're going to cancel at the last minute or not. So I'm getting those tickets under my manager's name.
Right at the end, just again admitting to be being a total liar. Oh yeah, no, I don't go under my own name. I lie to get it. I'm lying. Yeah, the whole thing is a lie. It's actually lies all the way down. All right, let's watch this, Professor. This is Professor Robert Sapolsky. This was uploaded about 4 years ago. He's from Stanford. Again, the title is Neurobiology of Transsexuality. If you do want to look it up, I highly recommend it. But here's a little snippet that I thought was worth exploring. And then we're going to get into a few more things.
And this was a study done by some superb neuroanatomists looking at transsexuals. And what they showed was very interesting, which was very, very reliably and a very powerful effect, what you would see in their large sample size of transsexuals' brains post-mortem was people would have this part of the brain, the size not of their sex that they were born with, but rather of the sex they insisted they always actually were. Wow. Immediate questions one must ask. Okay, well, maybe this is due to the fact that when people change gender, transsexual procedures, there's a whole lot of hormones involved, and maybe that's doing something to this part of the brain. Critical control that they had was this was looking both at transsexuals who had made gender changes and those who went to their deathbed saying, this is not the sex that I am, I got the wrong body, but never made the change. It wasn't a function of having actually gone through the transition and the endocrine manipulations with it. Another control they had, which was looking at men who would get a certain type of testicular cancer where they would have to be treated with certain feminizing hormones. In other words, very similar to some of the endocrine treatments of male to female transgendered individuals, and post-mortem, you didn't see the changes there. It has nothing to do with the hormones. It had to do with the person insisting from day one that they got the wrong body. And this was a landmark study, fabulously well done and controlled and replicated once since then, showing that what transsexualism used to be thought of is that people who think that they're a different gender than they actually are. What this study suggests is what transsexualism is about is people who got the wrong gendered body. And these are people who are chromosomally of one sex, in terms of their gonads, they're of that sex, in terms of their hormones, they're of that sex, in terms of their genitalia and their secondary sexual characteristics, they are of that sex, but they are insisting that's not who I really am. This part of the brain agrees with them.
Well, how about that? I thought that was very fascinating. And again, you could look it up. It's called Neurobiology of Transsexuality from Robert Sapolsky over at Stanford. There's also a whole bunch of other ways you can look at this. One is just rejecting the idea that the argument is at all in good faith, and that would be something more along the lines of Will Hoyt's law. But you can also look at linguistics and like signifiers and signifieds. There's a tendency for us to assume that the absolute authority on how language should be used comes from the dictionary, but that is actually, like what this professor was saying with the understanding with trans folks, completely backwards. We actually have definitions in the dictionary based on the usage of words. You can also even go back to mythology. You can look at, for example, folks like Dionysus. You can look at how Hermes and Aphrodite had an offspring called the hermaphrodite. And so there are precedences for this all throughout history. There is an understanding of it in linguistics, in depth psychology, in neuroscience, but none of that matters because the ultimate aim of all of this is for whoever that guy is, because I'm not going to look up his name because he's a nothing person, to earn some social capital and play into people's fears. And as long as the right keeps doing that, and as long as all of us continue to other people and be scared of other people that we don't understand, this kind of thing is going to continue to happen. So whether it's this with the trans panic, or it's Red Scare, or it's, immigrants are coming to eat your pets, the entire structure of the right is completely built on making sure you are scared and you are isolated and you don't actually go out into your community and meet other folks that you might not understand. Because when you do that, and they understand this, when you do expose yourself to people who are different than you or you perceive to be different from you, then you actually end up lowering your fear levels, and that makes you a lot harder to control. It makes it a lot harder for you to be manipulated, and so they can't have that. And I think this guy, as much as he wants to pretend to be this protective big man, and you just got to be careful out there, and you're so important and blah blah blah, really what he's doing is just playing into a machine that is as old as time. So I would say good luck to him, but I mean no good luck to him at all, and I hope he goes away as quickly as possible. My heart goes out to the folks that he is targeting without even realizing. Anyway, I'm Dr. Elliott Morgan, folks. This is The Spin Room. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.